There is an ocean of everything you want: success, power, and the most satisfying relationships. It's all available and waiting for you. This is The Zone of Action with your host, Gerald Action Jackson.
Today's podcast is about the rooms that make you better. The rooms that make you better capture the spark, turning inspiration into action. Believe it or not, if you pay close enough attention to your life, you will start to notice something powerful happening. There are certain people who come into your space, sometimes quietly, sometimes boldly, and after you leave them, you feel different. You feel energized. You feel clearer. You feel like your purpose has been sharpened. You feel like there's very little in this world that you cannot accomplish. These are not accidents. These people are not random. They are connectors, inspirers, motivators, and catalysts for growth. When you are around them, something shifts inside of you. Your thinking expands. Your confidence rises. Your creativity wakes up. You begin to see possibilities instead of obstacles. And most importantly, you leave their presence better than you arrived. The truth is, most of these people are deeply positive individuals. They are not perfect and they are not without struggle, but they have learned how to manage adversity in a way that does not poison their spirit. They bring light into rooms. They bring calm into chaos. They bring solutions instead of complaints. And whether they realize it or not, they are doing important work simply by being who they are. I consider myself fortunate, especially in my professional life, to be surrounded by people who inspire me daily. In my office alone, there are individuals who motivate not just through words, but through action. Their work ethic, their mindset, their approach to challenges unconsciously spark creative thought in everyone around them. Some people might call this inspiration a muse. I'm not sure that is the perfect word, but the idea behind it is undeniable. When you are around the right people, your mind starts to move differently. You start connecting dots you never noticed before. You start solving problems that once felt overwhelming. You start thinking bigger, not because someone told you to, but because the environment around you demands growth. And here is something important to understand. You need to be intentional about connecting with these people. These are not casual relationships. These are not people you keep at arm's length. These are individuals you need in your circle. Some of them may not even know they are in your circle, but their presence matters more than they realize. I am not going to name names, but there is one particular person in my professional life who perfectly represents what I am talking about. This individual is a true go-getter. Not only that, they are also a go-giver. They approach adversity with a calm confidence that is rare. Challenges do not overwhelm them. They handle difficulties the way you would handle an infant who needs to be put to bed, with patience, care, and understanding. Their personality lights up a room. People instantly feel comfortable around them. They do not dominate conversations. They do not seek attention. Yet somehow everyone gravitates toward them. That is a special kind of energy. That is the type of person you need to stay connected to. But here is the part that many people miss, and I want to be very clear about this. Being around inspiring people is not enough. You must capture what happens to you when you are around them. When you spend time with people who inspire you, motivate you, or ignite creative thought, your mind enters a heightened state. Napoleon Hill referred to this as connecting with your other self. It is that version of you that sees clearly, thinks boldly, and operates without fear. That version does not show up randomly. It shows up in specific moments, and you must be prepared when it does. You need a system to record your ideas. I cannot stress this enough. Those thoughts that feel brilliant in the moment will disappear if you do not capture them. Inspiration is fleeting. Creativity does not wait for convenience. If you do not respect it, it will leave you. That system can be simple. It can be a journal. It can be voice notes on your phone. It can be an old-fashioned voice recorder. What matters is not the method. What matters is the habit. There are certain times when your thoughts reach their peak. When your mind is open. When solutions present themselves naturally. One of those times is immediately after a good workout. Your blood is flowing. Your mind is clear. Your body is energized. Ideas come fast in that moment. Another time is while reading or listening to books. When you are feeding your mind quality information, it begins to combine ideas in powerful ways. You start connecting concepts. You see how lessons apply to your own life. Another moment that people rarely talk about, but is very real, is the endorphin rush after intimate connection. In that moment, your defenses are down. Your mind is relaxed. Creativity flows freely. And of course, one of the most powerful times of all is when you are around people who inspire you. Conversations spark insight, energy transfers, ideas collide. Always have a way to write these ideas down. Always go back and execute them. Execution is the bridge between inspiration and results. Without execution, inspiration becomes frustration. You start feeling like you have great ideas, but no movement. That is a dangerous place to live mentally. At the same time, you must be just as intentional about who you avoid. Avoid people who constantly tell you that you cannot do something. Avoid people who have never done what you are trying to do, but feel qualified to critique your vision. Avoid people who see limitations everywhere they look. Their fear is contagious. And if you are not careful, it will infect your thinking. This does not mean you only surround yourself with people exactly like you. In fact, some of the most inspiring people in your life may have very little in common with you on the surface. Different backgrounds, different experiences, different personalities. What they share is a positive aura. That aura is contagious. It can lead you to a life worth living. Now, as I reflect on my many years of life, there are a few experiences that stand out as deeply inspirational. One of them may surprise you. I used to love visiting what we once called old folks' homes. Today, they are more commonly referred to as retirement centers. I would volunteer and simply sit and listen. That is all. And what I found there was incredible. Many of these individuals had libraries of knowledge stored in their minds. Stories you could not buy. Lessons you could not Google. Wisdom that only comes from living long enough to experience joy, loss, success, failure, love, and regret. Yet so often, we discard these people. We assume that because they are older, they no longer understand the world. We believe they are out of touch. We think they have nothing left to teach us. That could not be further from the truth. They have lived many lives. They have seen cycles repeat. They have experienced consequences we have not yet faced. And when you take the time to listen, they are more than willing to share. There is something deeply grounding about hearing someone reflect on their life with honesty. They talk about choices they wish they had made differently. They talk about moments that mattered more than money. They talk about relationships that shaped them. And in return, they enjoy your presence. They love being heard. They love knowing their stories still matter. that exchange is priceless. Sometimes these conversations even make you nostalgic in unexpected ways. I find myself reminiscing about simple things, like how an organic tomato used to taste, truly organic, grown without pesticides, without additives, without shortcuts. You do not get that anymore unless you grow it yourself. The people in those retirement centers talk about those details, the flavors, the smells, the way life felt slower, more intentional, more connected. And in those moments, you realize something important. Progress is powerful, but wisdom is irreplaceable. So go ahead and connect with people who are positive. Connect with people who inspire you. Connect with people whose presence makes you feel lighter, clearer, and stronger. Stay connected to them. Honor the ideas that come to you when you are around them. Write them down. Execute them. And just as importantly, protect your environment. Your mind is your most valuable asset. What you allow into it will determine the quality of your life. Surround yourself with people who expand you. Listen to those who have lived. Avoid those who shrink your vision, and never underestimate the power of being in the right room with the right people at the right time. That is how lives change. That is how purpose is found. And that is how you build a life that feels meaningful, inspired, and deeply worth living. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter, JEROLDJAX, on Facebook, Gerald Action Jackson in Zone of Action. Check out the website, GeraldJackson.com. Happiness starts with you. Not with your relationship, not with your job, not with your money, but with you in the zone of action.